Hi everyone, and welcome to VM 105, Introduction to Veterinary Technology. This course is essentially split into two parts. One part of the course is learning medical terminology, acronyms used in the field like AHA, AVMA, and VTNE, medical abbreviations, and animal nomenclature. The other part of the course will introduce you to being a successful online learner, as well as introducing you to the profession of veterinary technology, which will include topics such as an overview of the history of the profession, the different titles used, laws and ethics surrounding the profession, roles and responsibilities of veterinary technicians, common emotional issues in the profession, as well as occupational hazards. When it comes to the title of nurse versus technician, you will notice both of the titles, veterinary technician and veterinary nurse, being used within the course. I use these titles interchangeably. Please keep in mind that while Purdue decided to change the name of our program to veterinary nursing, the official title for our profession is still veterinary technician, and when you graduate and become credentialed in your state, you will be credentialed as a veterinary technician, even if they call you a veterinary nurse at the practice you work at. There is an introduction module called Module 0, Start Here, that contains this introduction video along with other important information that will help you be successful in the course. Once you have finished watching the introduction video, please take some time to go through the other information in Module 0. There are 8 content modules in the course. Each module contains a brief introduction video, learning objectives, reading assignments, PDF documents that contain related course content, short lecture videos, and practice assessments. Some modules also have short journal articles, links to other websites, and learning activities. You will notice that I have assigned due dates to the 8 course modules. These are for your guidance only. You will have access to all of the course modules throughout the entire semester, and there are no penalties for not completing a module by the suggested due date. Following the due date guidelines will help make sure that you have completed the modules in time to take the exams by their due dates. There are 2 exams in this course. The first exam will be due at approximately the midpoint of the semester, and the second exam will be due at the end of the semester. The first exam will cover the material in modules 1 through 4, and the second exam will cover material from modules 5 through 8. For the most part, exam questions will come directly from the learning objectives in each module. I urge you to use the learning objectives when going through the material in each module. This will help guide your studying as you go through the content of each module and will help you answer the question, is this going to be on the test? So for the types of questions on the exams will consist almost entirely of multiple choice questions. There will be a few short answer questions that will require you to spell out acronyms. For example, the exam might contain the acronym RVT, and you would have to type out the answer, Registered Veterinary Technician. For exam proctoring, the exams in this course are administered via Brightspace. That's the LMS or learning management system we use at Purdue, and all students are required to use Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor for exam proctoring. Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor are free for students to use. Respondus Lockdown Browser locks your browser down so that you cannot access any other websites or applications such as Adobe Acrobat or Microsoft Word on your computer while completing the exam. It will also prevent you from printing or copying and pasting during the exam. Respondus Monitor uses your webcam to record you while completing the exam to ensure that you did not use any outside resources. You can access more information about Respondus Lockdown Browser within Module 0 in the VM 105 course. There is one required textbook for this course, Quick Medical Terminology, 5th edition by Steiner and Cats. We will be covering the entire book throughout the course of the semester. Since the book is essentially a workbook that contains a lot of exercises and self-tests, I highly recommend you obtain the paper version of the text instead of an electronic version. Throughout the semester, we will be having several online discussions. These discussions are asynchronous, which means you do not have to be online and logged into the course at any specific times. You can log into the class whenever it is convenient to read and respond to other discussion posts. In order to cut down some on the number of discussion messages to read, I have broken the class into discussion groups. With the exception of the casual conversation discussion board, when you log into the course, you should only be able to see and post discussion messages within your discussion group. Along with the 2 exams and the discussions, there is one other assignment in the course, which is a career opportunities reflection paper. For this assignment, you will need to find a credentialed veterinary technician to interview so you can learn more about the profession as well as other career options within the profession. Part of this assignment also includes peer reviewing 3 of your classmates' papers, as well as completing a self-review of your own paper. A full description of this assignment can be found within the course in Brightspace. If you have questions about the course content, my preferred method for communication is email. Unless there are extenuating circumstances, I will respond to all emails within 1 business day. If you would like to talk in real time, I'm happy to do so via Zoom. Just let me know that you would like to talk on Zoom and I will work with you to find a common time for us to meet. If you have questions regarding the course that are not of a personal nature, such as questions about your grades in the course, I would urge you to post those questions publicly on the casual conversation discussion board. Often if one student has a question, there are probably others that have the same or similar questions. By posting questions publicly on the discussion board, everyone else in the class can see the questions and answers. I monitor the casual conversation discussion board regularly and will answer any questions that your classmates cannot answer. Once you're in the course, you will see a black navigation bar, also known as a nav bar, going across the top of the page. Click on Content and you'll arrive on a page that will have a course syllabus, and you should see a table of contents running down the left side of the page. On the table of contents, there is a course introduction module called Module 0, start here, and then you should see the 8 content modules listed below Module 0. Within each module, there are submodules for readings, lectures, activities, and assessments. Course discussions, exams, and assignments are embedded within the appropriate content module either under the Activities banner or the Assessments banner. However, you can also access discussions and exams by using the black nav bar that runs across the top of the page. To access discussions via the nav bar, click on Course Tools and then select Discussions. To access the exams, you can click on Course Tools and then select Quizzes. Unfortunately, in Brightspace, all of the assessments are called quizzes. There are a couple of different ways that you can approach the content modules. I would always recommend that you start the module by watching the module introduction video and reading through the learning objectives and roadmap for the module. Once you've done that, you have a couple of different options. One option is to go through each module in order, doing the readings first, then watching the lecture videos, completing the activities, and then completing the assessments. However, you will notice that there is one activity in each module that includes most of the same lecture videos from the lecture submodule and some of the text from the PDF readings, along with some activities that you can work through. The activities are just a different way to present some of the content in the course, and whether you complete the activity first or the readings and lecture videos first is up to you based on your preferred way of learning. For technical assistance, if you are in the course and come across something like a broken link, you can simply email me and I will fix it. For other issues, such as not being able to log into the course or problems taking an exam or using Respondus Lockdown Browser or Respondus Monitor, you have a couple of options. PVMIT are the folks within the college, the veterinary college, that can help with some technical issues. PVMIT is only accessible Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can contact PVMIT by email, pvmit@purdue.edu, or phone 765-494-1153. Information Technology at Purdue, also known as ITAP, is also available for technical issues, and they're available 24/7 except for university holidays. You can reach them at itap@purdue.edu or by phone at 765-494-4000. So for your next steps, I will be posting my introduction on the discussion board and ask that you also go in and complete your introduction sometime during the first week of the semester. Once you've done that and have thoroughly read through the course syllabus, you can jump into Module 1 and start going through the content. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you all this semester.